What up, what up? It's now Saturday. I only have a couple hours to work on these cars right now. Right now, I'm just gonna try to get the compression test and the leak down test done on this car. And I'd like to throw the oil pan on this car and potentially get a few more engine parts boxed up so that the shop will have everything that it needs. I need to put a bunch of bolts in bags as well and label the bags so that the shop knows which bolts are which, since they're not going to be disassembling it themselves. So yeah, let's get started here with the compression test and the leak down test. If you watched the video when I drove this car home, then you saw that it's a bit of a pain getting the coil packs out. So hopefully it's a bit easier the second time. So I'll get this guy plugged in and then we'll get started here. All right, I really do not have much time at all, so let's get started with this ASAP. I pull the intake off and then get those coil packs out. All right, in one of my recent videos, one of you guys suggested using a zip tie underneath the coil pack to pull these out. So let's give this a shot. Okay, so it's still a little bit tough. Let's try using two hands here. Oh, unless he meant the back side? I don't know what he meant. Oh, maybe the back side and then you can pull with your hand on the front side? I don't know if that's what he meant, but that actually worked pretty well. The harness is such a tight fit that you can't actually pull the coil pack out all the way until you disconnect it. And you gotta disconnect them all at the same time. Damn, that actually works really well. Thank you, whoever suggested that. I apologize, I don't know who it was exactly, but this is a really nice trick. If you notice, I don't know if I showed this in my other video, the harness is a little jacked up. Like right here, you can see that it was pried away. One of the previous owners was using a screwdriver or something to pry on that connector. Almost all of them look like that. They're a bit beat up. Since everything needs to be taken apart anyway, I will get a new harness for this so everything's nice and fresh, because it does bother me a little bit looking at that. The rest of the car does seem to be very well cared for. I haven't found, not that I've dug that deep into it yet, but just on the surface it doesn't look like there's any corner cutting, so I'm not too concerned about the rest of the car, but this is definitely something that I'm going to replace and clean up. Alright, I got all 5 spark plugs out. So looks like we have 2 things going on here. So 1 and 5 both look the same, and they're just kind of dark, like they kind of look wet. So I'm thinking that 1 and 5 are possibly oil soaked. They are pretty black. And then 2, 3, and 4 all look pretty similar, and they kind of look whitish, which might mean, well, if they are white, that would mean that the spark plugs are basically burning. It's like a burn mark. 5 kind of has like a, I don't even know if I'd really call that like oil soaked. It looks a little wet up there, but 1 looks almost identical. Like it just looks kind of black. So it's almost like 1 and 5 are running, the black plug could be that it's running rich. So in that case, 1 and 5 are running rich and 2 through 4 are running lean. I don't really know how that would happen unless these are just some bunk ass injectors. All right, so I'm gonna try shining a flashlight down in each cylinder hole again. It's almost impossible getting a camera in there, even using my phone with the flash. So I'll have to just do this by eye. I won't be able to really get this on camera, but I'll let you guys know what I see. Okay, it's kind of hard to completely see everything that's going on in there, but 1 through 4 look pretty similar. They have some, so imagine the piston is, so let's imagine this pipe is like the top surface of the piston. So it looks like 1 through 4, I couldn't really tell on number 4 because that piston's pretty close to top dead center, but at least 1 through 3, the piston has like right in the center only, a black shininess, as if it almost looks as if oil dripped through the spark plug hole onto the top of the piston, because I don't see it around the edge. But then again, I can only see like the middle half of the piston. The piston's looking kind of clean outside of the immediate center area. 5 is the only exception, because 5 just looked wet. Like it looked wet with oil around like the whole thing. But yeah, 1 through 4 look very similar. I wouldn't even really say they're like wet with oil. It just looks like some oil previously dripped in there. 5 looks different. 5 looks like soaked. Like the piston looks very wet with oil. Alright, so let's climb into the back here so we can disconnect our fuel, that I don't spray fuel into the cylinders. Pull this back seat up so we can unplug the fuel pump controller. On my gray Golf R, I have a PM4, so it's really easy. I can just unplug it. I don't have to even like lift up the seat or anything. Forget how these seats pull out. I think you have to like pull it towards the front of the car and then it pops up. No, I think it just pops straight up. I can't remember. It's been like 2 years since I last did this. The biggest pain is this roll bar. It's just completely in the way of me doing anything back here. Oh man, this sucks crawling in here. All right, so I'm like running out of time because I've both been taking my time and I've been getting like 10,000 messages about those steering wheels that I'm selling. I made the mistake of posting a picture of the steering wheel, particularly the carbon fiber Mark 7 wheel. That one is getting so much attention, it's insane. So here's the low pressure fuel pump. Wow, this is very, very different than the stock way. So I completely forgot that you can also just unplug the injectors. I'm not used to port injection. I'm used to the direct injection on the FSI. So with the port injection, you can just unplug the injector harnesses. So just for the hell of it, I just went ahead and did that. It would have been easier just doing that from the start instead of unplugging the low pressure fuel pump, but it's all right. As I was doing this, I noticed that these injectors actually have Volkswagen part numbers. That's kind of odd because I was told this car was running 1200cc injectors. So I don't know if these are like modified Volkswagen injectors or if these are just straight up stock injectors. But I'm about to look up the part number for these and we'll see how that goes. Got my fuel eliminated, got my spark eliminated, so I am good to go start this. So I'll try to be as consistent as I can with this. I'll try to just do like 6 cranks. With the throttle body open, so I'll be holding the gas pedal. There we go. Actually, let's shut the door so that beeping stops. Oh wait, I'm not gonna be able to shut it because of the battery tender. All right, the beeping finally stopped. So I'm gonna be doing this with the throttle body open so that the engine isn't deprived of air. I mean, you can actually hear the throttle body open and close. Listen to this. Open, close, open. It opens very loudly. Fully open, and we'll crank it, I guess, like 6 times. 1, 2. Wow. It's like, battery's like toast. Cranks really slow. 130. Let's try that again. Dude, what was up with that? Why did my other car crank so quickly? I don't know why this one cranks so slowly. But yeah, let's try it again. All right, that was 7 that time, I think. About the same thing, just under 130. So that seems a bit low actually, but let's just continue with the test and see what the other numbers are. From my previous usage of this gauge, it does seem to be pretty damn accurate. Like, I know that the comparison of cylinders is what matters the most, but at the same time, it'd be nice to know the absolute numbers as well. Like I know, for example, that my RSX is supposed to be around like 200 to 210, and I know that that engine pulls strong. It's like a healthy engine, and that's exactly where it was. Everything was like 205 to 210. So I do trust this gauge. Okay, so number 2 is at 130. So I guess that's good. It's consistent at least. All right, we're set up for number 3. Cylinder number 3 is a little bit higher actually, 140. We'll call that pretty close. It's within an okay range, as long as they're within like 10. Number 4. Yo, I'm so like, I have to be careful getting in and out of the seat because I don't want to like destroy this, because when you sit down, you want to just like, it's difficult to get in here without just sitting like this on it. But I know that over time, this is gonna get worn out. I do want to prevent aging of the seat in ways that I can, and this is a big way that I can, so I want to be super careful of that. So I'm trying to make a conscious effort of like stepping all the way, like sliding myself in this way and then sitting down, but it's pretty tough to do. It's easier said than done, especially when there's limited room, especially because these seats like that, they have this big bolster, so it's kind of difficult to get in here underneath the steering wheel. Maybe I should get like the steering wheel up farther and then adjust it once I'm in here. But anyway, let's get number 4 here. I don't know what is up with that. Okay, so now it's getting interesting because this one's saying 150. So we had 130, 130. It said 140, but I think I give it an extra crank. This one was definitely 6 cranks and it said 150. Let's see what number 5 is, since number 5 is the one that has the oil-soaked piston. Okay, that might have been 7. Yeah, these freaking mosquitoes are starting already. They're all in my car. Okay, this one's at 130. So 1, 2, and 5 we're at 130. 3 and 4 we're at 140 and 150. So let's redo number 3. Yeah, we got like just a hair under 140 again, which isn't bad. It's not that much higher. You know, it's really like 137 or something like that. So yeah, that's fine. Let's do number 4 one more time. That was the highest one. That one was kind of weird. That was at 150. That just kind of like completely changes the results. That light again. We're at 145 on this one, so that is a little bit weird. That is not absolutely horrible, but it definitely changes the feeling of the results a little bit. So I'll go turn the air compressor on and get the leak down tester set up, and we'll go ahead and do that. I'm an idiot. Gotta put the cylinder at top dead center. Completely forgot about that. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to do this right here with the car on the ground. I might have to jack it up to get to the crank bolt so I can actually turn the engine, but I'll give it a shot. Let me try getting on the ground right now and seeing if I can reach up there. Trying to use the camera to find the crank bolt. Yeah, I think I see it. This is pretty difficult. Also, this cover is kind of in my way. The fender liner. Yeah, I can't see what the hell I'm doing. I can't even really see my camera screen. I don't feel any big bolts over there. So that kind of sucks. See, it looks like that big guy right down there is the crank pulley, but I couldn't feel any like big bolt in the middle of it. All right, the battery tender wasn't even plugged in because the extension cord that I was running it off of was not plugged in. So that was kind of a fail. That's why I was having such a hard time cranking. But I'm out of time for today, so I'll probably try to get back to this tomorrow if the weather holds up. I'll try to locate that crank bolt with the car sitting on the ground, try to get that done. I can check the timing at the same time. I'm sure the timing's fine, but just something to check. And hopefully I can get the OBD scanner to work, or VCDS or the OBD11. So that's the plan for tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow. Alright, I'm awkwardly recording the end of this video in my car because I don't like speaking to the camera in front of my parents. So today is Monday, the day that the video is being uploaded. Yesterday I went biking with one of my college buddies who I don't really see very often anymore. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I got messed up when I was biking. I got thrown off my bike 3 times because I have a regular like trail mountain bike. It's called a hardtail. It doesn't have a rear suspension on it, and the seat is really up high. It's not meant for going downhill. So yesterday we went to a mountain where it's a ski resort, but they have trails in the summertime for biking. So you can take the ski lift up with your bike and then you go downhill. You ride down the mountain through these trails that are pretty steep in some spots. It was my first time doing it, and I decided to just give my regular trail bike a shot, not knowing that you could actually just rent the downhill bikes there at the resort. But yeah, like the downhill bikes, they have a rear suspension, so that absorbs a lot of the impacts, and the seat is really low, and the whole rear end of the bike is just really low. It's just like squatting. It's made for going downhill. So my bike was not up to the task, even on the easy trails, which were not easy at all. I got thrown off a few times. So yeah, I'm all beat up, and yesterday that place was 2 hours away from where I live. So I did 4 hours of driving yesterday and 4 hours of biking. Then I got back home and I was just absolutely beat. So while I was laying in my bed, I was just working on like the part out stuff. So I was able to reply to a lot of messages because I got so many, like I was saying, I think I mentioned before, I got so many messages about the steering wheels. So now I got to start pulling all that stuff off. Got to pull this one off. I have a buyer for this. This is going to Brian. This is really the only thing being sold from this car. Got a buyer for the P3 gauge, the unibrace, the carbon fiber steering wheel, the coilovers. A lot of the stuff is selling, but it's gonna take a lot of my time. So this week I'm hoping to get almost all of that stuff sent out or pulled off of the gray car and sold. So today I was planning on finishing the leak down test, or doing the leak down test on this car, but I just finished my work for the day. It's now like somewhere around 5 o'clock, and my girlfriend's battery is absolutely shot. So I need to go help her out, and I also have a funeral to go to tonight. So it's not looking good for getting anything done with the car today. Hopefully we can get this gray car out of here as soon as we can. Oh, and huge shout out to Morbs. Huge shout out to him because he hooked it up with a lot of stock parts. He wasn't even asking me to pay for them. He just wanted me to pay for shipping, but I still threw him a couple $100 just for his time packing that stuff up. But yeah, huge shout out to him. That is a big help. So he sent me the stock turbo, stock injectors, coil packs, engine mounts, and high pressure fuel pump. And there might even be something I'm missing, but I'm pretty sure that's all. So now I pretty much just need to locate a stock downpipe, intercooler, charge pipe, and I think that's pretty much it. I think that'll be everything. Oh, and a stock clutch. So I have a couple local buddies who are willing to sell me their stock parts. So I should be able to find all of those parts from them. So as soon as I have all those parts in my possession, I will go drop this car off. I might just drop the car off anyway, like before I even get everything. I know the car is going to be at that shop for at least a few weeks, probably a couple months. So yeah, I might just go drop it off anyway. I'm dying to get this blue car over in that spot so I can really start stripping it down. But yeah, things have just been busy lately, and especially with the part out and like other personal things going on, it's it's very, very difficult to get a lot of stuff done, especially when I have so many things on my list of car things to get done. But progress is coming. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. As always, I will see you guys on Wednesday.